Do you know why they won't teach us the history of Egypt? After you have shackled and enslaved a people, branded, castrated, lynched, burned, and tortured them, you called them 3/5 of a man, subspecies, an ape, a monkey, and a general inferior creation, how can we then admit that they are our teachers and the ones who gave us civilization? How can we admit that we descended from Greece and from Rome, and that Greece and Rome stole everything they knew from Egypt? How to admit that? There's no room in a white supremacist psyche for black contributions to civilization or world progress. This reaches too far into the consciousness of the so-called objective white scholars of academia and their black-skinned counterparts. This is like asking a Nazi to accept the Jewish origins of Nazism, and of Hitler, if that were the case. They couldn't accept it, if it were true, any more than the white supremacists can accept the African origins of civilization.
Welcome. I know you know most of this issue of black Jesus and how Jesus is black and everything. But for those who don't know, let's hear this and then we come back again.
White supremacy. White people destroyed Egyptian monuments that looked too black. White people started separating Egypt from Africa as if it was two different places. White people started making Egyptians look white. And then when people started pointing out that Egyptians were in fact African, they started trying to make it seem like the pyramids were built by aliens because they did not want the modern white world to know how advanced the African culture was.
People used to worship black deities. Negroes were first worshipped in Greece and Rome. White masses bowed down to black deities. The rites of Apollo were founded by Delphos and his Negro mother Melanus, and the worship of black Isis and Horus were popular in Rome and the Roman colonies as far north as Britain. It was actually, in ancient Rome, it was actually common for the Romans to make fun of their own gods, but to worship and respect Horus and Isis, which, by the way, Madonna and Jesus. But we'll get to that, because the worship of black Isis and Horus existed as far north as Britain, but eventually this evolved into the worship of the black Madonna and the black Christ. Christian whites also bowed down to them. Negroes, as was said, were deified in early Greece. They appeared as gods in Greek mythology. The chief title of Zeus, the greatest of the Greek gods, was Ethiopes, which means black. The earliest of gods and messiahs on all continents were black. We have found the black complexion or something relating to it whenever we have approached the origin of nations. The alma mater, the goddess, the founder of the oracles, the Memnon, or the first idols, always black. The pyramids, by the way. The faces on the pyramids, they chipped the noses away so it would be less apparent. They were black too. Thus, the oracles at Dodona and the Apollo at Delphi were founded by the black doves. Orisis and his bull were black. All the gods and goddesses of Greece were black. At least it was in the case with Jupiter, Bacchus, Hercules, Apollo, Ammon. The goddesses Venus, Isis, Hecate, Juno, Metis, Circe, Sibyl were black. And the first gods in antiquity were black. Zeus, Apollo, Osiris, Isis, Buddha, Horus, they just keep going. In the Bible, the ancient days God was described as having hair like the pure wool. The earliest deities were woolly-haired Negroes. Their peppercorn hair was a sign of divinity. Did you know that the Pope's private chapel has a black Jesus in it?
And don't you black people ever forget one thing. The man that helped Jesus carry that cross was a black man. And don't ever forget another thing. Jesus belongs to Africa as much as he does to Europe and Asia. He was born in that part of the world that touches Africa and Asia and Europe, and Jesus was not a white man like me, nor was he as black as some of you. We don't know what the color of his skin, but it must have been a dark color like the people of his day, because he was a man like them. Don't ever say it's a white man's religion or a black man's religion. It's a world religion. He belongs to the world.
Now these are white people who are talking about the how how Africans are kept in dark, because there's a truth the white people know that we don't know, because they are the one who wrote this history. They are the one who wrote these books that we are reading. They are the one who have the history, because they were good enough to have a written history down. But we've been having story it has been trending. Even Putin came out and introduced that there is black Jesus, that Jesus is black and is not white, and we talked about it in this channel. But everything about Egypt, about the pyramids, about how Egypt was the foundation of mathematics and everything, is something that they will not let us to know, because they don't want us to know that about this one. They don't want to know us to know about Jesus being black. They don't want us to know that black is superior. So, and we talked about it last time, and a lot of some people are saying that the color of Jesus doesn't matter, that whether Jesus is white or whether Jesus is black, but he is still the same. It doesn't matter, but it matters. If you see the white people have they have shy away from the truth, or they have put away the truth, they have put the truth away from us Africans, that means it matters. The truth always matters, any day, anytime. So we have to know these things, and we have to dig deep about how so that we can go back to our originality, to the reality. The reality is this one. And I'm very happy that some people are now getting the reality, and some people are changing. Some people have now started putting the black Jesus photos, in their, instead of the white one. So things are changing, and we need to know as Africans, because the time as Africans we will have knowledge about ourselves is the time that we will wake up. The time that Africans will have the knowledge about their history and will know their true God is the time Africa will start to be great again, because Africa is great. But they put away the truth from us so that we can meander around their history, meander around their false history, because if we know about our knowledge, if we know about our history, if we know about our reality, that means we will be superpower, and everything will change. We will have enough knowledge to know what to do and when to do, because that's how it is. You cannot tell me that Africans have low IQ than white people have high IQ than Africans. Why is it like that? It's because they have knowledge that they have barred us from knowing. That's why they wrote all the books that we are reading. They wrote all the books that we are reading in schools, the history and everything, telling us we were apes evolving, which and what, the scientists. So there is something, or Africans or black people, we don't need to ignore. Okay, there's some people who are ignoring this, and it's okay. Everyone has her own or his own opinion to accept or to deny. But all in all, if we need a great change, if we need a change, we need to accept it. Tell me in the comment section, what do you think? I am the Kenyan Beast. Of course, we are doing it the African way every day, every time, and peace be with you.